Hello YouTube, thank you so much for coming to my channel. It's your girl Kimberly. Please hit the subscribe button because you're already gonna love my channel. I can read your mind. I already know that you want to be here and you want to see more amazing videos. Second, hit the notification bell, that way you'll be the first to know when I come out with new videos. So if you've been on my channel before, you saw that I posted a video about the Mcgrath foundation and concealer, and it definitely got me thinking about the conversation: is high-end makeup worth it? How much should you spend? How much is too much? What type of products should you buy the high-end version of? So if you want to know more, keep watching. So the question we are discussing is high-end makeup worth the money? Now really it's more of a question of, do you want to spend the money on this? Because really, makeup is temporary. You put it on, beat face, go home, wash it off. So this idea of, do you need the expensive version of these things? The answer is no. And I know y'all probably like, girl, you a hypocrite because you be buying all the high-end makeup. Yes, I do buy all the high-end makeup, but you don't need it. So especially for women of color, it's maybe more difficult for you to find skin products that, especially base and concealer, foundation, that are your skin color at the drugstore, but it can be done. Brands like NYX, ColourPop, there's Black Radiance, Black Radiance, something Revlon, CoverGirl, they're starting to extend their range too. So it may be more difficult, but it's definitely possible. There are drugstore options that are phenomenal products. If you just search best drugstore foundation on YouTube, NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation, you will see a plethora of products that are drugstore and look amazing when people apply it. So you don't need to have high-end makeup for most people. There are, on the extremes, certain skin tones, the lightest shade and the darkest shade, you might not be able to find drugstore, but for the most part, you can get drugstore makeup and be okay. The second part of it is, there's tiers to the higher end makeup. So the Pat McGrath is at the highest of the high. So she is in that $60 to $80 foundation range. She's up there, like she's off the screen. You literally can't see how high up she is. And then there's all the way at the bottom foundations that are $10 to $15, which are like drugstore, or even maybe a little bit lower than that, $8. There is a spectrum in between of high-end beauty. So for instance, Fenty Beauty's foundations, I think, coming around $40. There are some $25 foundations. So you are going to be able, especially if you look at Sephora brand, Ulta brand, those kinds of brands that they're technically not drugstore, but they're not really high-end. So I think you really want to find what's comfortable at your price point. Now, my personal experience has been that the high-end makeup lasts longer. So if you are in a position where it's that special day of your wedding, or you're doing a photo shoot, I find that once you hit that 6-7 hour mark, that's when you start to see the difference between the girls and the women. And the high-end foundations tend to be able to last and go longer than the drugstore, some of the drugstore options. Some of them will last just like the other ones, but some of them don't. For eyeshadow, I do know that the drugstore options sometimes, especially on women of color, are less pigmented. So you're putting it on, and instead of putting 2 or 3 pats, you now need 7 or 8 pats to get that color payoff. Whereas with a high-end shadow, you could do it with 2 or 3 and it looks bold and vivid and amazing. And it's not to say that the look's not going to work with the drugstore lower end products. It's just that sometimes the case may be that because it's less pigmented, it takes more MacGyvering. Like, you have to do more, but in the end it will still look good. Like, you just have to do a couple more steps. But for drugstore lipsticks, same thing. They last for 2 or 3 hours, but if you want that really long lasting, I find that you have to use higher end. It's really what's up to your budget. One thing that I champion, especially if you go with my older videos where it's like making a kit and all this kind of stuff, well, not like a real kit, but like makeup, people who love makeup, like having all the things, you don't have to buy everything high end. I rarely buy high-end mascara. Like, I got the Pat McGrath mascara because clearly I'm a fan of hers, but I got the Fenty. But for the most part, Black Radiance, L'Oreal, CoverGirl, Maybelline. Like, when it comes to the mascaras, I'm going for the low end because once I get pink eye or something funky, I have to toss it in the trash, and I don't want to feel bad that I spent $30-$40 on it. But so definitely I would say, what is more important to you? If you really feel like you need a 12-hour 14-hour foundation that can roll with the best of them and you look amazing every day no matter what, get the high-end foundation. Contour is like a little brown powder or a little brown foundation. You could get a foundation stick in a darker color from a drugstore brand. I personally like the Fenty, but like I said, you can mix and match and come in at different levels. Like, high end, if you're only going to get a few things high end, I would say high end foundation and concealer. I guess those are 2 things. So foundation, concealer, and then eyeshadows. Everything else you can get drugstore. Lip gloss, lipsticks, none of that stuff really is, I mean, there's, like I said, there's small differences. When you are talking a lot with the drugstore lipstick, you might start to get that little white stuff on the inside, but really just as soon as someone tells you it's there, wipe it off, reapply. But I would definitely say you don't need high-end products. So especially, you can get real caught up in this YouTuberverse of seeing people who have, first of all, a lot of people have PR boxes, so that's a whole nother thing. Like, just don't compare yourself to them. If you are like me and you're buying it, you can't necessarily get all the things high end. You're on a budget, which is good for your life. So like I said, foundation, concealer, eyeshadow. Everything else you can get drugstore. And then you can splurge every once in a while. Like how I said in my other video, if you get the little minis from certain brands, it's the same high-end product. It's just a smaller amount. See if you really like it. And if that shade just changes your life and you can't live without it, then go buy the full-size version. But it's really, really important to stay within your budget. You can make any product look fabulous. It's really about application for a lot of these things, because even for the foundations at a drugstore, and I'm like, oh, after 12 hours it starts to break down. Like, well, put a little powder, use a different primer, maybe use a different moisturizer. Like, there's hacks for you to figure out how to make these products work just as well. And there's some makeup artists that I know that they have drugstore in their kit, and they're like pulling up to TV sets with like a case full of ColourPop, and it's like, if you make people look amazing with it, then you can make it work. But the thing is, they're also professionals, so then it's kind of like, but it's like, if you just trying to figure out how to make that one drugstore product work, then just go on YouTube and keep searching till you can figure it out. So I know I'm getting long-winded here, but I definitely just want to say, don't feel like you have to have high-end makeup. A lot of people, whether you're just beginning, you're in the mix, also learn to shop your stash. Definitely go back in the archives and see what makeup you already have and what you can reuse and how you can repurpose it to do the new trends. Yeah, you don't have to have high-end makeup. So I mean, I do enjoy high-end makeup, I love it, I'm still gonna continue to buy it, but you don't need it. So thank you so much for watching my video. I hope this helps. If you were teetering on the point of figuring out, should I skip out on this so I could buy this expensive makeup, don't. Go do what you want to do. and go get some drugstore stuff. All right. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.